Hi, welcome to Felixstowe Live. As it's Remembrance weekend, I thought we'd come to somewhere where I don't think a lot of people go to. It's Felixstowe Cemetery. And here in Felixstowe Cemetery, you will find memorials to many men from the First World War and also some from the Second World War, and I'll show you those in a moment. But this is some of the men, or most of the men I think, who died around here or whose bodies were brought here during the First World War, during and after, I assume, the First World War. And these men came from, obviously, all walks of life and were in all kinds of regiments. There's quite a lot of men from the Royal North Lancashire Regiment. There's quite a lot of men from the Suffolks. There's men from the Norfolks. There's one from Hertfordshire and Bedfordshire. Royal Garrison Artillery. The North Lancashires again. And the Norfolk Regiment. There's a lot of them. A lot of guys here who died during the First War. And every year at this time of the year, the parish of Felixstowe Church and the Reverend Andrew Dotchin come up here and conduct a memorial service for these men. We have the big events on the seafront, but we also have an event here for these chaps who are buried in our town. The thing that gets you when you walk around amongst these graves is, of course, the age of them. Just look at these three. On the left, 22 years old. W. Clark, probably called Bill. G. Driscoll was 33, so he was an older guy, probably married. And then another young man of 26 from the Royal Garrison Artillery. Another group of three. So as you can see, there are all names, all kinds of regiments. The Suffolks, and the Essex Regiment. One man there of 44, one man of 20. Sad to think of, isn't it, really? And the final row here, some of them getting a bit worn, aren't they? Because quite old now, these graves. 1916, so that's 105 years ago. There you go, young man. And here's the other section of military graves at Felixstowe Cemetery. It's a Second War section, and we'll just have a stroll around those. Again, like the First World War section of graves, these graves are kept in terrific condition. They're maintained beautifully, as you would like them to be, really. And again, it's all young men. Young men from the Royal Signals, from the Royal Air Force, from the Naval Reserve, Royal Naval Volunteer Reserve, Royal Air Force, an air gunner, and of course so many of these guys are young. People who went out to do their duty, volunteers or not. Royal New Zealand Air Force, he was just 22 when he died in 1942. There you go, and there's obviously a young chap who worked out at Felixstowe aboard a motor gunboat. A lot of young guys. And a Polish serviceman. I don't know what arm of the services he was in, actually. Maybe someone will know. And then we start to come to these ones, which is Merchant Navy sailor of the Second World War. No one knows who he was. Pilots. A 19-year-old midshipman. The Glasgow Highlanders. That's an unusual man to find in Felixstowe. And more unknown sailors. 2 in this grave, 1 in that, 1 in that. Another, and another, and another, and another. Sailors in the Second World War. Unknown. And then finally in this little corner, some German servicemen in the Second World War. First 2 died in 1940, as did this one, and he was only 19 years old. (23) and 26. Very sad to come here, isn't it? It's sad. It's a sad place, but it's beautifully looked after, and very moving to come here and remember these guys, because, to be honest with you, they deserve being remembered.